Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. It seems that a new copper peptide serum is about to break the skincare internet. That isn't an exaggeration, because the Remedy copper peptide serum only launched a couple of days ago, and it's already receiving unprecedented hype and praise online. But as we know, hype doesn't always translate into results. So in today's video, I want to do a completely unsponsored review of the latest launch from Remedy. You guys know I'm a huge advocate for the use of copper peptides in skincare. They have so many great benefits, from boosting collagen and elastin production, minimizing fine lines and wrinkles, and they're also potent anti-inflammatories and have some great antioxidant benefits too. I genuinely believe there's a copper peptide serum out there for everyone, but is reaching for one of the more affordable and drugstore ones like this one by Remedy actually going to pay dividends in the long term? Let's unpack it all. Sit back, relax, and let's talk the latest viral copper peptide serum. Now, in today's video, I'm going to share with you my hot take on this, but I want to hear from you guys too. Let's turn the comment section into a bit of a poll. If this is a product that you're really excited to buy and try in your own routine, let me know by leaving the heart emoji down in the comments. If this is a product that you just don't think you need, maybe it's something that is going to be already featuring in your skincare routine with another brand, or you just don't like the sound of it, let me know by leaving the cross emoji again down in the comments and state why. That way, we can see what the true thoughts and opinions of the Mad About Skin community are. As always, whilst I'm sharing my own thoughts and opinions, know that I'm doing so in an entirely sponsorship and ad-free way. You will never see a paid-for ad here on my channel because I pride myself on my independence, speaking from the heart and never the wallet. So if you appreciate true, unbiased, independent reviews in the skincare community, the best way of supporting me is by reaching down and giving the video a big thumbs up and a like. The more likes the video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you to each and every one of you. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So the Remedy Copper Peptide Serum, which is actually officially called the Remedy For Skin Elasticity, only launched 2 days ago, and already the hype has just taken over the skincare community. Honestly, I think it's really refreshing to see another well-formulated and affordable copper peptide hit the market. But when it comes to the level of hype this one's receiving, it seems to be off the chart. So we're going to unpack all of that today. I'm going to start out with a review of the product. I'm then going to come on to my own thoughts and opinions on it, and then compare and contrast it to some of the most popular copper peptides on the market. I've left timestamps down in the description box below, so if you want to jump to one section of the video over another, they're there for your convenience, be my guest. And I'm also going to link all the places you can purchase it. Again, they're for your convenience if you want to check out the individual price point where you live, or make a purchase for your own routine. So this product retails for $35, which honestly I think is a really fair price point. Whilst that might be on the slightly higher end of the Remedy range, I think that's to be expected because copper peptides are one of the more expensive ingredients to formulate with, so you would generally expect a brand's copper peptide serum to sit on the higher end of their whole range. For this, I think is a really fair price point, and it contains a 1% concentration of pure copper peptide alongside some other great pro-collagen peptides too, such as the giraline, which we see in a lot of our peptide serums. What I think makes this special is not only do you have that great blend of peptides and that great price point, but you also have some additional ingredients such as ectoin, which is one of my favorite barrier boosting, calming and soothing ingredients too. This is also packed with great stabilizers, meaning this is a sort of product that's going to have a long shelf life and is generally going to pair well with the rest of your skincare routine, with a few caveats which I'm going to come on to later in the video. The texture is smooth, it's beautiful, it's buttery. Whilst I've only actually tried a sample of this, I am going to get one for my own long wear test. I'll do a 6-month update so I can share with you those longer term results. But in terms of first application, it's beautifully smooth. It doesn't leave any weight to the skin. Some copper peptides can be a little tacky and sticky. Not this. It feels absolutely beautiful, and I really think when it comes to the formulation, they've thought about everything they can do whilst also maintaining that super affordable price point. It's actually launching, I believe, on the US TikTok shop first, and it's hitting shelves and physical retailers on the 26th of July. So if you can't quite find it yet, you're gonna have to be a little bit patient and wait to the 26th of July. But again, I've left some links down below where you can purchase it, and all that like pre-launch information is there for you if you want to explore it in more detail. Remedy recommend that you use this product twice a day, morning and evening, and that's a key distinguishing feature between this serum and a lot of other copper peptides. Most brands would recommend you only use your copper peptides on an evening, and I think that's a missed opportunity. Copper peptides work best when you use them twice a day. On an evening for that pro-collagen benefit, on a morning for its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory benefits. That's where you're going to get the maximum results. And an affordable copper peptide like this lends itself well to using it twice a day, because whilst you're going to go through theoretically twice the amount of product, it's an affordable option, and so you don't feel as guilty for doing that. I actually covered in a recent video why I think it's so important to use copper peptides twice a day. I'll dig that video out and I'll leave it and link it up there if you do want to check it out. But I think that's a really great approach, and it's nice to see some of these derm-led brands actually, proposing using copper peptides twice a day, because I think that's where you're going to see the maximum results. If you use this consistently, like with any copper peptide serum, you're definitely going to see a boost of collagen and elastin production, minimizing fine lines and wrinkles. It's going to help with the glow and luminosity of the skin, and it's going to give a really nice hydration and plumping element too. Because of the other peptides that they've used, this is definitely going to be hydrating, it's going to be glow boosting, and really in the long term, I expect to see some great pro-collagen benefits because of the form of copper peptides they've used and the concentration. However, there are some things that I think get missed out with all of the hype that's going around online. People are losing their minds over this product, and I think they're missing some key factors. So first and foremost, this does contain hyaluronic acid and polyglutamic acid. Not a problem, great and hydrating for a lot of people, but some people do have issues with hyaluronic and polyglutamic acid. It can cause sensitivity and just actually increase dryness, which is kind of the opposite of what it's supposed to do. If you're somebody that is sensitive to hyaluronic acid or polyglutamic acid, this is going to be a firm pass because they're in decent concentrations in the serum. If you're somebody that loves hyaluronic acid and maybe you're using a standalone serum in your routine, ditch it. This will give you that hyaluronic acid, polyglutamic acid alongside those copper peptides. So that's something worth calling out. It will depend on how your skin reacts to hyaluronic acids as to whether this is the product for you. My skin's fine with just a little hyaluronic acid, and I think this is okay for me. Any higher percentage, I think it might be a problem. But if you're sensitive to hyaluronic acid, I think this would be a firm pass. You also need to remember that the copper peptides in here aren't encapsulated. So whilst I see a lot of people saying this is like a miracle copper peptide, you need to remember that you have to be careful with what you layer and pair it with. So Remedy say it's fine to use with their own vitamin C, which is true because the vitamin C in the Remedy product is stabilized and isn't in a pH which could denature the copper peptides, or the copper peptides conversely impacting the performance of the vitamin C. You can use them together, which I like to see. However, I wouldn't use this product in the same routine as another vitamin C serum, as an exfoliating acid, or the same routine as tretinoin. Those are the three that I would personally avoid. If you reach for an encapsulated copper peptide, you can use it alongside all of those, but because this one isn't encapsulated, you're still going to have to be mindful of how you apply it, how you layer it, and what you personally use it. Now, how I would get around this is you can absolutely use this on an evening as part of your evening skincare routine, and then I would reach for an encapsulated copper peptide for your morning application, because in the morning is where you're likely going to be using your exfoliating acids and your vitamin C's, the things that don't pair well. So yeah, this on an evening and then your encapsulated copper peptide on a morning. Some people might not want to go down that approach because it requires two products, and I understand that, but I think it's definitely worth calling out that whilst this is a phenomenal product, there are some limitations of how you layer and pair it, which is something very common with copper peptides that aren't encapsulated. So just worth calling that out. Think about how you layer and pair. And if you want any advice on that, drop me a comment down in the comment section. I will happily get back to you. So how does this compare to some of the other most popular and hyped copper peptides? Well, let's start out with a product that is in a rough price comparison. The Ordinary copper peptides. So this is officially called the Ordinary Multipeptide Plus Copper Peptide Serum. This has been the world's best-selling copper peptide for the past 5 years. Similar price point. The Remedy is in the mid $30 range. The Ordinary one is around $30, so similar. Very similar strength, very similar formulation, very similar multi-peptide approach. The only difference is the Remedy one contains that ectoin, which is a great barrier boosting ingredient, whereas the Ordinary one doesn't. That is really the only difference I can see between these two. I think overall, if I had to choose a formula, I would personally go for the Remedy one. I think it is just a little bit better. You've got that ectoin. You've got some other great hydrating ingredients in there too, which I personally love. I think the way that they've formulated the Remedy one just makes it stabilized a little bit more effectively, so it's going to have a longer shelf life. That for me is enough to pay a couple of dollars more. But in terms of performance, you're going to see roughly comparable performance between the one by The Ordinary and the one by Remedy. At the other end of the price spectrum, we have this. This is the Allies of Skin Copper Tripeptide and Ectoin Advanced Repair Serum. So you see in the label, this also has ectoin in, like with the Remedy one. It has that same great concentration of copper peptides, but it also uses some other forms of copper peptides in here to boost them. It has some advanced technology which is going to aid with the penetration rate of those copper peptides to get quicker results and a little extra bang for your buck. And it also contains some other phenomenal antioxidant and brightening ingredients too. This, on the face of it, has a very similar ingredient profile to the Remedy one, but actually when you delve into the technology, when you look at the different forms of copper peptides, this is offering a whole lot more. However, it's about 4 times the price point. So, this is where you have the trade-off. Something like Remedy is delivering phenomenal results at a super affordable price point. Something like Allies of Skin is taking it up a notch, but you're going to have to pay for that. And I think that's something that you and your wallet will have to have a conversation about. But I think it's worth noting that there are some more advanced copper peptides on the market, but they generally will come with a higher price point. I do have a 20% discount code for Allies of Skin, which I will leave a link to down in the description box below. So if you want to try this and take the cost down a little bit, that will help. But this isn't designed for people that are looking for a budget-friendly option, which is why I'm really happy that Remedy have kind of filled that space with a really nice formulation. And of course, last but no means least, if we compare it to those encapsulated copper peptides I referenced earlier, like the one by Naturium, the Naturium multi-peptide serum, or the one from my own brand, this is the Mad About Skin copper peptide serum. Again, very similar formulations when you look at that multi-peptide approach, you look at the hydrating ingredients and the calming and soothing ones. But again, the encapsulation just means that you can use it alongside all your other actives without stressing the layering and the pairing. Copper peptides come in many different forms, they come in many different price points, and they definitely have many different benefits and drawbacks. And I think when it comes to your own skincare routine, use what works for you. I am so happy that Remedy have entered the market with a new copper peptide serum that's really, I think, adding to that nice affordable price bracket that until recently was really lacking when it came to quality copper peptide serums. I would definitely say the Remedy one is on a par, if not slightly better than the ordinary copper peptide. I definitely say that it's bringing a great formulation at an affordable price point, but for people that want ease of use, want something that they can use in their skincare routine without stressing the layering and pairing, you're still going to want to opt for an encapsulated option, which will just aid with that. Remedy, definitely. I'm going to award this a solid 9 out of 10. Almost perfect, but again, just be mindful of how you layer and pair it in order to get maximum results. Remedy for me are one of my personal favourite skincare brands, and the great news is you can use this Remedy copper peptide serum alongside all the other Remedy products. So if you're somebody who kind of exclusively uses Remedy, you don't need to worry about the layering and pairing. You can definitely incorporate this. Or you could do like me, use it on an evening, then on a morning alongside your vitamin C, use an encapsulated copper peptide, and that way you can get the best of both worlds. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it down in the comments. Are you excited to buy and try this for your own routine, or do you think you already have your favourite that you don't need something else? I'm really glad that Remedy are getting all the hype, which I genuinely believe they deserve. It's the founder, Dr. Shah, that I think has put his, all his knowledge, but his actually love, and you can clearly his skincare ethos comes through in the whole Remedy line, and that for me is something I love to see. And yeah, I think it's just another occasion where Remedy have knocked it out of the park. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.